Hello there. I am Danny Gregory, and I am looking forward to spending a little bit of time with you today. It is Wednesday morning. Well, it's Wednesday at noon in certain parts of the country. It is, I don't know what time it is where you are, but um, I'm hoping that we can spend a little bit of time together, do a bit of drawing, and, just take our minds off things, right? Because, you know, there's there are things going on in the world that are a distraction. So let's distract ourselves from the distractions. So I'm looking forward to seeing who's here. I see Allie is here, Maria, Lynn, Kate. I'm glad that you have shown up, and I'm glad that you are ready to do some drawing. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna share a little video lesson with you in a minute, and that's a lesson from the vast, prodigious archives of Sketchbook School. We've got lots and lots of lessons that we've made over the years, and it's nice to dive back in and pull some out and say, you know what, let's have a look at one of them and rekindle the energy. Who else is here? Charmene, Karen, Sally, Calvin, Timmy, Marnie, Lena. I'm so glad that you're all here. Sue, Simone. Thanks for joining me, and feel free to chat with the rest of the folks who are hanging out here. Social distancing doesn't mean that we can't spend a bit of time together online and just talk about how things are going and, share a joke or two. Or, I don't know. It's hard to know what to say or what to do in these days. But I will say that I have found that making art is a great distraction, I suppose. I suppose distraction or um, a way of just taking your mind from the thoughts that it's generating and instead be a bit more present. Because being present in the present, um, dark as our thoughts may be, being present in the present, being right here in the moment, allows you to appreciate what you have, appreciate what's going on, and also to to just clear your mind of the distractions that it's providing. So anyway, um, I've found that when I've been in times of difficulty, as I have at various points in my life, drawing was always an opportunity to say, let me look at what beauty there is in the world, what beauty there is in my world, and focus in on it. Slow my mind down, and in almost a meditative way, be grounded in the here and now. And it's not about whether or not you make a great piece of art. That's not what we're here for. It's not even about you necessarily are learning some new art technique. But the main point is really to have this experience now. Think of it like meditation, like yoga, like exercise. So anyway, I see more people are showing up. Mitzi, Linda, Kathleen, Barbara, Renee. It's so nice to have other people. Oh, Jeremy Soul. It's been a long time since I've seen you, Jeremy. I'm glad that you're here. Eva, Lori, Elizabetta. So it's nice that we're all here together. I think that that's something that we've all been missing. And so we're planning to do this every morning. Kosha, well, I keep saying morning. Let me explain why. Um, I announced this to be at noon Eastern Standard Time because or Eastern Daylight Time, because that is normally I live in New York, but I'm actually in Phoenix, Arizona right now. I'm at the house of my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, where my wife and I are sequestered, hunkered down. Um, we are here with family, which is a good place to be, and we are we are sort of supporting each other. And so as a result, every time I keep saying morning, it is in fact morning here. And I'm not sure again what time it is where you are, but thanks for joining me nonetheless. Anyway, so we're going to try and do this every morning. And Kosha is also doing a similar thing on Instagram. And if you check our Instagram channel, you can see her every morning, and she's going to be doing a different kind of drawing exercise. And I'm going to be sharing a lesson. She's going to be doing a different drawing exercise. So anyway, Yulia and Alex and Teresa, I'm glad that you're all here. Let's begin. Let me explain how this is going to work. First of all, you might need a few very rudimentary art supplies, and I'll talk about those in a second. Well, let me talk about them now, actually. I'm going to be using a highlight marker, and I'm going to be using just a regular pen. This is a Uniball roller pen, doesn't really matter. And then I have some just plain copier paper. That's all we're really going to need for this exercise. If you don't have a highlight marker, but you have, I don't know, some other kind of a marker, or you have some watercolors or some gouache, you could use that. Just something that you can make a nice big flat block of color that you can then draw on. That's the whole idea of what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be making some colorful things from our imaginations, and then we're going to see where that takes us. Okay? So I wanted to share with you a video which comes from the archives of Sketchbook School, and this particular lesson is from a class that we no longer offer, but it's called Playing, and it actually I think some of the yes, it's no longer available. I'm sorry, Playing, but it is nonetheless a fun course, and you're going to get to experience it here today. So why don't we, without further ado, I'm sorry if I'm dithering a bit because I have the feeling that more and more people are kind of flowing in and joining us, so I keep repeating myself. But Chris, Katrine, Sophia, and John have just come in. So here's the idea. Let's watch this video. It's short, about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we will begin to draw. Okay, here we go. That was fun. Hey, listen, I saw one or two people saying something about the connection. So if you'll hold on a second, I'm just going to plug my computer into the Ethernet. Again, I'm not at home, so I'm kind of dealing with somebody else's system. So hold on one second. It's possible we could get disconnected. I hope not. But if we do, just stay put and I will be right back. Let's see if this works. Thank you. Thanks for your patience. Talk amongst yourselves while I just figure this thing out. There's nothing like working in the unfamiliar. Yes, okay, good. So hopefully that worked for you all. Somebody give me a thumbs up and we will see. And somebody else complained about the audio level being low. Tell me what you need and I can fix it. I can try and fix it at least, okay? So guys, and Morgan and Kosha, if you're out there, you could give me some tips also on optimal. Excellent. Okay, good. Now, one other thing I'd like to address is that some of you struggle to find this place, to find where we are. And so what I would ask you to do is to do these things. One, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, then as soon as this appears on YouTube, you'll immediately get an email and it'll tell you exactly where to go. You can like our Facebook page, Sketchbook School News. If you like it, as soon as we get on Facebook, it will alert you. So those are things you can do. But generally, if you just show up on, I'm hoping, this is again early days and we're, it's like battlefield conditions trying to resolve this, but we will work it out. We have plenty of time, unfortunately. We have plenty of time to figure this stuff out. And I will always try and do a sort of slow ramp so that we don't um, lose you too early. Okay? All right, good. So let's see. Let's talk a bit about what we just saw. So in the video, I talk about using gouache, right? For those of you who don't know, gouache is opaque watercolor. So it's sort of like the I don't know, like tempera paint almost, the kind of paint you used to use in grade school. So it is you put it down and you kind of can't see through it. But instead of using gouache, I'm going to violate my own edict and I'm going to just use a Sharpie. I'm sorry, a highlight marker, and I have several different ones here of different colors. And yeah, so I'm just going to pick one. So here's the idea behind this: is get your gear together, get a pen, get some paper, and let me switch over. I have this incredibly cool jerry rig set up here so that I can show you this because I was really not prepared. As I said, we were on vacation as this all was going on, and suddenly we couldn't really go home. Flights were canceled. New York is kind of an insane place right now, so we decided to stay here. But of course, I didn't have all my rig of stuff that I have in New York, so I've had to cobble stuff together. So, but I've succeeded. I mean, here, look at this. Here you see a piece of paper. But see, I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. Yes. Okay, good. And one more thing. Let me see. No, that didn't work either. Grr. See, this is what comes of hubris, right? Think you've got it all sorted out, you start boasting about it, and boom, this is what happens. Anyway, it worked, and let's see. Hopefully, it'll work for a while, and I'll continue to work on this setup so that we have it. Good. All right. So, video keeps stopping and starting. I'm seeing that. Okay. All right. Good. Let's try this, guys. Bear with me. Again, we'll try and get this figured out, and I'm hoping that our internet stands up to this demand. Okay, here we go. So the idea here is let's draw a shape. Just draw a shape of a thing. Let's pick a subject. Let's pick a subject. Let's pick a a chicken. Okay, so we're going to take a chicken as our subject matter, and I'm just going to draw, just kind of draw a shape that's sort of chicken-like, chicken body. Just want to draw one shape is sort of the idea. Draw this one shape and then color him in. It doesn't have to be exact. It's really the idea of a chicken. The marker is not perfect here, but yeah. So we have our chicken shape, and now if I had done this in gouache, of course I'd have to let it sit there and dry. But because of the miracle of a highlight marker, I don't have to. I can just let it sit there. Not highlight marker, what are they called? Yeah, highlight marker, yes. Okay, so now I'm going to just create a little character here. Give him some eyeballs, give him a nice beak, maybe a little bit of that. Now, the thing that I like about this process is you can refine what you did in the first place. So I might decide, you know what, I'm going to change his shape a bit. I'm not totally locked in to that original shape I drew. And that's why I can add tail feathers and I can add other stuff. But the main idea was just to get that kind of base layer of color. And I kind of like the fact that it is out of register, as it were. But you know, give him some feet and some little textural things there. And there's our chicken, looking cocky, as it were. All right, good. All right, good. So, yeah, I see that some people are saying that it's possible that the internet buffering isn't my fault, but it's what's going on with your ISP. So I hope that's the case. I mean, I'm sorry for you, but I hope that I'm able to, at least from my end, do the job right. So there's our chicken. Okay, let's do another shape. And I'm gonna change colors. I'm gonna do a donkey. Much more satisfying highlight marker. So yeah, so you just kind of figure out a shape, and I like to keep it sort of feeling organic. What should we do with him? I think his ears should go back. He's, he's a little cowed by recent events. He's not as cocky. Well, is this chicken really cocky? I don't know. But our donkey is not. Our donkey's a little glummer, a little more thunderstruck. So there we go. And he's going to be a donkey with a saddle. I know that's unusual. Maybe he's not a donkey. Maybe he's a horse. Maybe he's a horse. That expression on his face is kind of funny, isn't it? All right, so let's give him a nice tail. Maybe he's looking like this because he's legless. So let's fix that. Sort of has naked legs. It's kind of like tan lines. Maybe that's the problem. He has tan lines from, yeah, he looks a little sunburned. He's been working the Grand Canyon, and he is, but he forgot to apply his SPF to the lower regions. So, all right, let's do something else. Let's do, well, this might be familiar to you. Let's do a nice bottle something. Do you find you're drinking a lot? It's one of the things, it's like you're sitting around at home and you have all the time in the world, and you don't need to be presentable the next day, although I do, of course, to look at my best for you. But generally, you think, well, what the hell? I'm just going to go to hell in a handbasket. I'm going to be utterly dissipated. I don't think that's going to last for very long, this period. I hope it doesn't. The period of dissipation, I mean. But so here we go. I've got I'm going to make a bottle of scotch, I think. There we go. Bottle of scotch, a little metal there. Maybe give it a bit of a drop shadow. Maybe it's kind of low filled. So anyway, there you go. Bottle of scotch, bottle of booze. Um, what next? How about a person? Let me go back to my yellow one here. P. Shorten, drinking almost every evening. Yeah. Yup. Trying to do some exercise every day. I hope that you are doing some exercise too. We have this very energetic Australian sheepdog here staying with us. Not staying with us, she lives here. I'm staying here with her. Her name is Luna, and she is a bit of a lunatic, and she is very energetic. And I've taken it upon myself to try and train her how to walk on a leash. So every day I've been taking her for at least a 1 mile, sometimes even 2 or 3 mile walk when I have the spare time, which strangely enough I do. Anyway, so that's been my exercise so far. But we have a Peloton exercise bike here in the house because we convinced my sister-in-law to buy one last year, and thank God we did because we have one at home, and it has been a fantastic thing to have basically a little exercise gym in your house. So I'm just waiting. Somebody's shipping me my biking shoes from New York. It's the only thing. The only thing I'm having shipped is my biking shoes. But anyway, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to draw a guy. I'm drawing a person. Let's give him some eyeballs. Been a little sleep deprived. How have you been? How's your sleep been? Mine has actually been, it's gotten better. It was pretty bad, I have to say, the first few days, but it has gotten better. And we're all having kind of weird dreams. Maybe you are too. This guy is looking a little bit like Gomez Addams from the Addams Family, don't you think? He has that. Maybe it's the hairstyle and the mustache. Give him that look. Maybe give him a little bit more eyeliner. All right, so he's Gomez. So Gomez, of course. Oh no. Sorry, this iPad that I'm using is my secondary camera. There we go. Occasionally freezes. So yes. All right, Jael, please go back to work. Back to work. Gee whiz. Yes. Yulia recommends magnesium. Good idea. Sherry is just showing up. Are those markers for the colors? Yes. Yeah, we're just putting down a spot of color, just a little blotch, and then kind of working with that. Um, so here I'm making, he always wore those kind of really elaborate pinstripe suits. You know what I'm talking about, right? Morticia and Gomez Adams, based on the brilliance of Charles Adams, New Yorker cartoonist, ne plus ultra. All right, there he is. What else? Let's draw something else. How about, maybe I'll just draw, how about a ship? A ship, not an ocean liner. I mean, not a cruise ship, that's for doggone sure. But I'm going to try and draw one that I'm going to change the rules a little bit, and I'm going to draw a couple of different shapes. So I had said that we should try and draw one shape, but here I think I'm going to draw a couple of different ones. Wow, man, this marker is conking out on me. Let's see if this one is any better. Yeah. So art supplies wise, I am somewhat bereft because when we went on this vacation, I took my iPad because that's what I've been drawing on of late. And, we wanted to travel light and so forth. So I brought my iPad, and that was kind of it. And so now I'm kind of scrounging around for office supplies to make stuff with. I'm finding occasional bits of art supplies buried in cupboards here. So my in-laws have been very kind and supportive in helping me find things. But, unlike my house at home, they don't have giant boxes of unnecessary art supplies hoarded everywhere. That's kind of it. You give it a little bit of a masthead there. So, yeah, that's kind of the idea. Quickly drawn ship. Are you drawing the same things as I'm drawing, or are you drawing something else? You decide. I'm going to draw, I think I'll draw a fox, small fox. See if I can think of what they look like, the general shape of a fox. I don't want to get too specific in my shape creation. I want to sort of play around with the difference between this shape and then, the lines that I'm adding. Sort of fox-like. What do you think? Yes, I'm not sure how fox-like that is, but well, there you have it. A few minutes of drawing. Um, it's just fun to use your imagination like that. When you're done with this page of drawings, you can decide whether you want to keep it. Maybe this will be your plague sketchbook that you will look back upon in the future as an important historical document. But I don't know yet. Um, the point is really just have fun with it. If you would like to share what you've done, you can use this hashtag SBS Drawing Party and share it on Facebook here. If you're on YouTube, you could also share it if you're a member of the schoolyard at Sketchbook School. You could do that. But let's let's meet again tomorrow, same time. Now, again, as I said earlier, if you had a bit of trouble finding us, I would ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I know that's kind of what the obligatory thing people say when it comes to YouTube videos. But in this case, it's kind of important because we're streaming this to a bunch of different platforms, and it's hard to exactly determine what the URL is going to be and so forth. So it's the simplest thing to do: subscribe to our YouTube channel, and like our Facebook page. If you do that, you'll be notified when the next one happens. But generally, it will happen at noon, and I will ramp up slowly so that we can uh, make sure we don't lose you. But also share this with your friends. Get some other people in here. If you're in a house with other people, get them to join you. We'll do some drawing of each other. We're going to do all kinds of things. Tomorrow, we are going to do a sort of a meditative drawing. So that's going to be deeper, more, it's going to be a longer lesson. And, you know, there's going to be a more sort of focused, calming exercise. And I will talk to you about it then. So tomorrow, just come with a pen and a paper, and we will try and lose ourselves in the flow of creativity. That's the objective for tomorrow. Thank you all for joining me here today. It's been a lot of fun, and we will resolve all of these various technical problems as time progresses, I'm sure. So that's noon Eastern Time. Here in Phoenix, it's 9 a.m. But I'm sure you can figure out where it is when you're there. And if you're late, no problem. And if you miss one, you can watch the recording. Maybe that's what you're doing right now. But I'll see you either on YouTube or Facebook tomorrow. Thanks for joining.